NYYST.
Hold up, why do they doubt the kid? I'm about to prove them all wrong again. I got a low tolerance, cause they don't even know what the problem is. It's me. You waiting on the boy to fail, then hold your breath and face your death. Cause you play a roulette with each step I progress, no less. Go ahead and place your bets, cause we know where we at, we know we top tier. Cause all the hate that you bring, we know it stops here. I'm taking off like a rocketeer and stopping here. It's strange how they cannot see the future, but see profit here. Wait up, we gon' always win. Promise that that's not a promise, yeah, that is a threat. You know that I promise to bring the team commas.
Welcome back. This is episode 452 of the NYYST podcast. We're live here on NYY Underground. I'm your host, Christian, joined by my co-host, Sem.
What's up?
You tell me, bro. You tell me
I don't
what's
know.
up.
My anxiety level, because baseball's a week away.
Are you excited or are you not excited?
I'm both.
You're not excited for
makes sense.
baseball.
I'm not excited because half the team's not going to be there, but I'm excited because it's baseball.
Well, the only thing that's really affecting you is that you have to watch Carlos Rodon pitch on Thursday afternoon at 3
Oh.
o'clock at Yankee Stadium. But
Okay.
you know, barring any catastrophes, I think everything else should be. I'm going to stop talking right now. We're done. Yes, we are actually here live. It's Thursday night on NYY Underground. So if you're in the chat tonight, please like this video, subscribe to NYYU, and if you're listening on your favorite podcast platform on Friday morning, please leave us a 5-star rating and review there as well. And tell everybody NYYST is the official Yankee podcast of Odyssey. The next time you hear my voice on this show, the Yankees will have played baseball. Official baseball in the standings, record book, whatever you want to call it. The offseason will finally have concluded. We're 7 days away from opening day. I was thinking about this today. Is that, we've had a really shitty spring in terms of the injuries that the Yankees have had to deal with in the spring. But I was watching, I think it was from the Yankees official account. It was like said 1 week away, and I think it was the introductions from last year, and then the players coming out of the tunnel, out of the dugout, onto the field. And I'm like, how it doesn't matter like what we go through in the off season, in spring training. That's still special. That's still awesome. That's still something I can't wait for on Thursday. So as much as this off season has been such a roller coaster in terms of, well, we haven't come back up yet really, and it's just steadily going down all off season. We're still a week away from baseball. And I got to say, I'm still pretty excited about that.
Yeah. Listen, week away, I'm going to drive through a shitload of traffic. I'm going to be pissed off, pay for parking. The second that they open up the gates and let me walk in, that's the greatest feeling of the year.
Let me
I
ask
don't
you a
know.
question. If the President of the United States signed an executive order to ban complaining, what would you do with the rest of your life?
Me?
Yeah, you. You preface everything by a complaint. I'm going to opening day. But instead of just saying that and getting into the excitement, you're like, I got to sit in traffic. I got to pay for parking.
Well, first off, I've never been one to follow the rules, so I would probably break the law. Secondly, I was prefacing my excitement with how shitty it's going to be to get there, and then I'm not going to give a rat's ass because I'm going to walk. I'm usually one of the first people into the stadium. I walk around the whole place as soon as I get there. I look at all the new food and what's going
Are you
on.
getting the tiramisu helmet?
Yeah, probably. I won't eat it. My wife will eat it. She already circled it and sent it to me.
Uncle
So that's
Dom, bro. I got Uncle Dom. Are you gonna be out at sorry to cut you off. Are you gonna be out at the Audi Club, bro? I don't remember. Have we met? Did we meet at the one in September? I don't remember, bro. We gotta say what's up if you're gonna be out there. Go ahead. Finish your thought.
But yeah, no, it's like my our tradition. We just get there, we walk around, we check out what's what, and then we sit down in our seats, we watch all the what do you call it when the introductions. I never been there for one after they won a AL title, so I'm excited to see that. And I won't give a shit about Giancarlo Stanton or Clark Schmidt or Garrett Cole or nothing like that because that is my favorite moment of the year. Me and my wife do it every year, and it's been great. And I'm fucking pumped.
Yeah, well, I'm looking at the box score for the game that's going on right now, and it looks like that Will Warren's come down to earth a little bit in his last two starts, which is just fantastic because it looks like he's going to be on the opening day roster. So, kind of a few things that I want to get to today is the final positional battles that we're going to be looking at here in spring training as we're a week away, and also what the lineup might look like, what it could and really should look like on opening day. And before we get into that, it does look like that Will Warren is probably going to have to start the season with the Yankees, which so this is not a good thing that he's gotten rocked in his last two starts after, really pitching well through the majority of the spring and looking like a different guy than he was with the big league club last year because the Yankees starting rotation was supposed to be a strength to this team. The Yankees starting rotation, in my opinion, was supposed to, uh, or was, at least on paper, I thought they had the best rotation in the American League. I know a lot of people like Seattle. I think the Yankees had probably a better rotation in my mind. And then, so, you want to say Dodgers, Braves, Phillies. They were they were a top four rotation, all in the top five in all of baseball, unquestioned, and probably the best in this league. Now, as we sit here a week away from the season starting, 60% of that rotation is going to be on the injured list when they get introduced, when the team gets introduced on Thursday, because we all know about Garrett Cole, all know about Luis Heel, and Clark Schmidt is likely to going to start the season on the IL. Nothing's officially been said yet, but um, he had to get shut down with it wasn't shut down really, but they skipped him in that game against Toronto with the shoulder fatigue. They deemed it shoulder fatigue. Schmidt said that it's probably because he didn't start throwing whenever he started something about when he started throwing and he started throwing soon enough after the World Series, blah blah whatever. Um, Boone said that he won't be built up for 75 pitches come opening day. This is a guy that was already pushed back to the sixth game of the season because of the cranky back. So we know he's been delayed. So that's further this tired shoulders further delayed him. So I think the Yankees are just going to stick him on the IL, leave him down in Florida, let him build up, and then bring him back up sometime in late April. So now we're looking at what was Garrett Cole, Max Fried, Luis Heel, Carlos Rodon, and Clark Schmidt. Get a chubby, everybody. Remember what that felt like. And now think about when your mother walked in on you, because this is what we're dealing with now. Carlos Rodon, Max Fried, uh, Carlos Carrasco, Marcus Stroman, and Will Warren. That's where we fall into in this offseason.
Yay! I don't know. That's a quite a bit of a turnaround now. And it just seems like that's been the case. What, last year, the year before? What we were talking about that last week. The year before, we were all hyped. We were supposed to have the best rotation. Yeah, Carlos Rodon. He was hurt last year. Again, should have one of the best rotations. And you come in and Cole was hurt. Now this year, Cole's hurt, Heel's hurt, Schmidt's hurt. We can't catch a break, it seems like almost. And it's just becoming an every season type of thing. And you almost expect it now. And I don't want to be pessimistic, but I'm just a pessimistic kind of person. Gotta see what it is. I'm excited to see Fried pitch. That's how that's my how I'm looking at it. Hopefully Rodon could put something together this year. You know, be a lot better, not jumping off the mound, acting like a lunatic, and then giving up the game. You know, Carrasco, was it yesterday he was pitching. I was watching. That wasn't too
I mean,
exciting.
he's been excellent though so far this spring, and he's definitely earned a spot in this rotation. Jack Curry was you got to read the tea leaves with Jack Curry. He's not going to always explicitly say what the Yankees are going to do. He wants you to do a little deductive reasoning on your own. And what he said was, and this was before we knew that Schmidt was probably going to be not shut down, but delayed and probably IL'd here, is that Warren was going to start the season in the minors because the Yankees didn't want to lose Carrasco because Carrasco has an opt out in his contract on Saturday, I believe, where if he wasn't on the major league roster, he could exercise that and find an opportunity elsewhere, which obviously he's had a strong spring, and the Yankees can't really afford to lose any pitching depth, especially you take a look at a guy like Chase Hampton, which they might have had plans for this year. Believe he's having Tommy John surgery or had Tommy John surgery as well, so that's not a good thing. So it looked like Carrasco had the leg up on Will Warren, and then with the injury to Schmidt, it looked like Warren is going to by default be in this rotation. So it's not exactly encouraging that his last two outings have been good, to say the least. So we'll see what happens here. I think it is worrisome, though, that this rotation has taken such a big hit because, especially early on, you don't tax your starters. Even if a guy went through a full spring and is healthy, you're not going to really throw him out there for 7, 8 innings right off the jump. So, you're going to lean on your bullpen a little bit more in the first couple weeks. And then you look at some of these guys that the Yankees are going to have at the back end of the rotation, like Carrasco and Warren and Stroman. These are not guys that you are going to anticipate getting deep into games. If you get 12 to 15 outs from them, and you're still in the game, I think you're going to be extremely happy about it, which is going to be a problem because the Yankees bullpen, we've seen it when they've had healthier rotations than the one they have now, kind of gas themselves, in the mid to late summer here. So that's something you got to keep an eye on. And is how much can the middle of this bullpen, the middle inning guys, keep the team afloat, that you're not pitching Devin Williams and Luke Weaver in games that you're down 5-2 in the eighth inning just because you don't have fresh bodies out there. So you look at a guy like Yoendrys Gomez, what's going on with Ian Hamilton, Mark Leiter. The one positive injury update that we did get on the Yankees is that Mark Leiter Jr. will be ready for opening day. So you're looking at guys like him, Fernando Cruz, who everybody was excited for, get him in with Mac Blake. Well, his ERA is hovering around 11 in spring training. So I mean, these are the guys that the Yankees are going to be kind of leaning on to bridge the gap in between these starters that are going to give you four and a third innings, especially early on, to Devin Williams and Luke Weaver. So, I mean, things can get ugly quickly for the Yankees. This is why I know a lot of people are saying that I've seen this take. It's starting to become like a little bit of a narrative now that the Yankees are kind of almost getting slept on. But I don't know. I think offensively the Yankees are getting slept on. But as far as what I said last week about them being a World Series team, no, I don't think so. I really don't. This team is going to have a lot of obstacles to overcome, especially early on in the season. Now you want to tell me Hill comes back in the summer, is healthy, and can start to get, and it rides that out. And Schmidt comes back at the end of April. He's healthy. They ride that out, and they go pick up somebody at the trade deadline. Somebody that is a top end of the rotation type of guy. We're having a different conversation then. But for right now, there's a lot to worry about with the Yankees, and especially with this rotation.
Well, the rotation is going to be the rotation, but if the actual offense plays the way that we hope that they do, it makes it a little bit easier on them, and then you don't have to rely on your premier guys as much. So as much as everybody's worried about the starting rotation, there's so many unknowns this year with how players are going to play on the offense, and that they're more important than ever, like when you got Garrett Cole, you figure you don't have to, I'm trying to think how to say this. Garrett Cole is going to hopefully go out there and keep the opposing team to a minimal amount of runs. So the Yankees could go out and score 2 and 3, win a game. Here you got to figure the Yankees are going to have to go out and actually score runs, more than 2 to 3 a game, and make it easier and do more heavy lifting and not put it all in the bullpen like I feel that we've been doing the past few years. Cole's a workhorse. He keeps us in games all the time. He's not here. Luis Heel, you're looking for him to do the same thing. So if the offense goes out there and is completely miserable, and you have the 2 and 3 hitter hitting again, and that's it, then it doesn't matter who the hell you put in the bullpen because it's just going to be a lost season.
So we got a super chat from Ra. What's up, my brother Ra? It says Yankees are in a situation in which they must go for it at the All-Star break. I'm sick and tired of the Yankees never finishing strong in the winter at the trade deadline. Go for it, as Sylvester Stallone's son said in Rocky 5. He said, go for it. Okay. So Ross says, go for it as well. Yeah, I said this on the show last week. The Yankees are going to have to show Hal and Cashman that they're worth being invested in at the trade deadline. Okay. So the Yankees are going to have to be in a playoff position, at least in that third wild card, come July, if they really want Hal and Cashman to say, you know what, if we get this guy, we can really make a push here. So, and I agree with what you said. They're always one step short of finishing the race. It's always what it is. It seems like the Yankees get right up to that finish line and then they just stop for some reason. So I don't know what it is that it's just like they're always missing one piece. And when you have the stars, you should never be saying that. Why is this team missing one piece? Why are we going into the season where we don't have a third baseman? Or in 2023, we're going into a season without a left fielder. Or, you look at some of the holes that this team, a team that went to the World Series, a team that had Juan Soto and Aaron Judge, and some of the holes that they had last year. So there always seems to be one piece away. And it does get frustrating that we've been watching this happen since really 2018. 2017 was the magic carpet ride, Game 7, we all know. And then it was always like, well, we're missing this, we're missing this. And then they go out and get it. That was always like, they're an ace away, they're an ace away. Then they signed Garrett Cole in 2020, and it's like, well, they're still missing this, and they're still missing that, and they're still missing this. And then, oh, they need a left-handed slugger. They need another bopper, big superstar to go with Aaron Judge. They get him last year, and they're still missing things. It's what's frustrating about the Yankees and the way this team has been constructed. So I'm totally with you there on that, Rod. It's just, what are the Yankees going to do? Are they going to do anything with the guys that are going to be on this team come Thursday to show that, to show Hal and Cashman that they're worth being invested in? I know the sexy name is Sandy Alcantara, right? Okay. First of all, I got to see him healthy, right? And he's coming off Tommy John surgery to himself. This is his first year back. I got to see him healthy. I got to see what he looks like, right? It's not like a situation with Garrett Cole where you're going to throw Garrett Cole right back out. He's your guy. You're going to just throw him right back out there. But if you're going to try to acquire somebody, I got to see what this guy looks like. And I'm hearing, look, if Chris was sitting on the other side of this camera, he said, don't care. Any name that I bring up, he's going to say, don't care. But you're talking about, I'm hearing trades of, you got to put George Lombard and Spencer Jones as a starting point in a trade for this guy. And I get it. He is the best before he got hurt. I know he had a down year. Lombard and Spencer Jones and all these other guys that are supposedly going to be what it's going to take to get him.
If you can't beat the Dodgers this year, it doesn't make sense to do something like that. And that's going to be the ultimate question. You have to see how this team's playing, how they're working together. And, when you're getting closer to the trade deadline, if they're like tearing the covers off the ball, they're winning games, and then maybe it makes a little sense. They talk about that right now. It's like, and like you said, you don't see you haven't seen him pitch coming off of Tommy John. You don't know what he's going to be, where he's at. You're taking a shot in the dark at that point, and you might be selling off your future for right now a team that's going to be complete ass and come nowhere near the Dodgers, or might not even sniff the playoffs. That would be a hard pill to swallow. And then everyone would be pissing and moaning at the end of the year. Oh, well, we traded these guys for this guy. And, you know, we need to wait and see what happens with multiple things. I'm sure Cashman's got, you would hope that he's got a plan up his sleeve in case that the Yankees are just, you know, doing what we hope that they do. But then you got it. We all have to settle in and be ready for the reality that they might just suck ass and we might have a boring baseball season. I don't know. But everybody always wants to, that's where everybody wants to go. Everybody always wanted, oh, bring up Dominguez. Bring up Dominguez. The second that he plays like shit, oh, get rid of him or yada yada. So the Alcantara thing is getting to be a little bit much. It's almost as much the Trevor Bauer shit. It's like pretty obnoxious and annoying at this point, in my opinion. I just I don't know.
Well, like I said, the Yankees are going. They're not going to make that type of move at the trade deadline if they're 4 games under 500. But if they're
No.
in a position where they're in a playoff spot and the team's been playing well, they're going to go. They should, and I think they will go for it. But you know, that's why I'm saying a move like that's not going to happen right now, nor should it happen right now. Let's see how the team performs. Let's see how a guy like Alcantara performs, number one, and let's see what the Yankees do. Because, what's interesting about this team as compared to the 2023 team is that the Yankees did nothing at the trade deadline. Like, literally did nothing. I think they traded for Kenyon Middleton just to say that they did something at that juncture. But they didn't really have a lot of assets at that point. What, Harrison Bader? I mean, like, really? I guess what could you have possibly gotten for him? Right. So I get it. They ended up putting him on waivers anyway later on in the season. But the thing about this team is that you have the back end of your bullpen is on walk years. So they do have pieces that teams will covet. You know, they're out of it. You trade Devin Williams. I'd hate to see this because I'm wearing a shirt right now. I don't know if you could see it. You trade Luke Weaver. So there are things the Yankees can do to kind of recoup for the future. I hope to God we're not sitting here. Well, I'll be on vacation that week, but I hope to God we're not sitting here on July 30th talking about the Yankees just moved Devin Williams because they're 5-10 games under 500. So, but I think here's the thing about this season. I could see it going a number of different ways. Like last year, you knew this was a good team. You knew this was a team that was going to be in the postseason, and just how far could they go? Now with this season, I think that this is still a playoff team. I said that last week, but are they a World Series team? It's not there for me right now. And you're already starting the season with 60% of your rotation on the IL. You don't have John Carl Stan, who, has got torn tendons in both of his elbows and a calf issue.
And calf, yeah.
I love the guy to death. But like I said, if he played 0 games this year, it would not surprise me in the slightest. I know there was a couple people saying, this week, and I heard a couple in a couple other places, um, that best case scenario mid to late May. That's first of all, when has the Yankees ever had a best case scenario with an injury? Number one, and number two, I don't know. I forgot. I'll be honest. I've completely forgot what number two was. I'm not going to even lie and try to make something up.
I'm just go
Mary Ellen's in the chat said last year at the deadline they got Jazz and that's it. Like, how disrespectful could you be, Mary Ellen?
and
Honestly,
that's it.
how disrespectful could you be to Mark Leiter Jr.?
He
Ah,
he he was he
honestly, like I expect better from our audience here, our NYY community. I expect better out of you guys than to say that's it and forget completely about Mark Leiter Jr. That's stunning to me. I'm sorry. I don't know if I can finish the show.
so I'm just listen. I'm just looking at Stanton's contract. So it's 32 million this year, drops to 19 million next year that the Yankees pay. What do the Marlins start kicking in at that point? Or do they not kick in by 2025? I don't know. When did it? So I don't know. They can't, listen, if this season's going to be a bust, that's really what they have to see because if listen, you don't even know who your third baseman really is yet. So people want, oh, trade for Alcantara. No, how about let's figure out who our third baseman is first? Because if we need to, you punt this season because you have money coming off next year. You could free up some money, and that's when you go after like the big name. Like we all and everybody. What the fuck's his name? Junior. The hell's his name? First baseman.
Vlad
Vladimir.
Guerrero.
Yeah, go for Vlad Guerrero. You go for him, or you go for the Kyle Tucker, and then you reboot and we go at it next season when you hope that Carlos Rodon finally puts it together, finds himself. Max Fried, you don't think he's gonna do bad. But then next season, you reload and then you have Heel, you have Cole, and then that's when you really make the run for it. Maybe this is just ends up being the season where they just acquire the pieces and it's just you gotta play the long game.
Well, you don't
It's
have to. This is the problem, though.
have
You don't have the opportunity or the. I'm forgetting words left and right here today. You don't have the luxury. That's what I'm trying to say. You don't have the luxury of punting this season and playing the long game when Aaron Judge is 33 years old.
no, I'm not saying like the long game, like 3, 4 years down the road. I'm
You don't
saying
even
next
have
season.
yeah, but Jason, we've been kicking this can down the road for
Yeah.
years, and now Judge is in his mid 30s. Garrett Cole has gotten to the point where his elbow snapped on him.
Yeah, that's wild.
So
No, they're
that's
get they're getting old, but it's the reality of it. Do you blow your nut this year when
if the opportunity arrives. I'm telling you, if the Yankees are in a spot, this is why
absolutely no. If they're listen, if they're like favorites to win the AL, go for it. But if you're like fighting for a wild card spot, then
no,
absolutely
oh no,
not.
I disagree with you. If the Yankees are in a
Ah,
playoff position come the trade deadline, you have to go. First of all, you owe it to the fans.
well,
You owe it to Aaron Judge to do that. Number two, why? I mean, why are you gonna? Why do you want to punt the season when you can get into the
I'm I'm
postseason?
I'm petrified of the Dodgers, to be honest with you. I don't think that it's a possible thing. I think that they
If this team
legitimately
was fully healthy, you had questions about whether or
that
not the
is yeah,
Yankees
that's true.
could defeat the Dodgers. And I'm
It's
saying that's why you have to go for it, man. You
I
know what,
guess.
bro? You never know what might happen come.
Well, no, because it doesn't matter what happens. Because the whole season doesn't matter. You get to the playoffs, nothing matters. Anything could happen. We know that. But
Arizona went to the World Series as a wild card 2 years ago. So that's what I'm saying. The Yankees can get in and they can make a deal to make themselves considerably better. I don't say, oh well, Cole's out. We might be a second wild card at best. You have to go for it.
you're a cuck for Cole. What would you do if they got a World Series ring and he was sitting on the bench the entire time?
I'd fucking jump as high as I could possibly
It
jump.
would hurt you would be so upset though. You'd be
No, I
excited.
wouldn't. Would I be? Would I be upset? I would say it would suck for him, man. Everything he's done for this team to not be able to contribute for that, but would it take away from any of my enjoyment of watching the Yankees win their first world title in 16 years? No, no, absolutely not. I love the guy. I've never shied away from saying that, but no, it would not take away from my enjoyment at all. The only thing, like I said, I would love for him. I want him to be the guy on the mound to deliver it to us, but he ain't here. And if it can still happen, I'm not gonna be like, oh,
Well,
let's wait till next year. So go.
no, I wouldn't say that. No, but I'm just saying you would. I know. I just personally, I was thinking about it the other day. I'm like, wow, Christian, it's gonna suck because I know that you would want to see it win with Cole because I remember how excited you were when they got him. But I mean, I don't know. It's just the type of person I am. Even in my everyday life, I'm a cautious person, just things like that, and that's why I'm thinking to myself. But uh, I I just hope everybody listen. I'm just hoping to get to fucking what is it, April 27th, and know who my third baseman is at that point. That's kind of where I'm at right now. I know, like we're talking way in the future. We're putting the cart before the horse here, but we all have aspirations because watching. Watching baseball into fucking November is great. It was awesome, you know?
So,
But
Chef Nick, can't, I gotta get glasses, bro. It's Chef Nick. Is that his name? Who's talking about Michael Tonkin in the chat? We need the honky tonkin man back.
Michael Tonkin. Heck, he's not even old, that guy. I thought he was freaking like 49.
No, we need the honky tonkin man back with Timmy Hill, man. We need those two guys back. Well, Tim Hill is back. Have you even heard one peep about is Tim Hill alive? Can anybody confirm that? I haven't
He
heard
pitched the
one
other day.
I haven't heard one peep about Tim Hill all spring after they signed him.
Michael Tonkin's only 35 years old.
I love Michael Tonkin. I
He
was
looks like, I don't even know. He just
Right.
looks old.
Exactly. There's Uncle Don. Uncle Dom's right. He looks like a history teacher whose wife's having an affair on him.
Yes. Oh my God. Let me tell you about the Gettysburg Address.
He drives he drives a brown 1987 pickup truck that's so rusted out there's a hole in the side of it.
He looks like he goes home and he dips like the entire can at once. He's
I
just
I miss the honky tonkin man, dude. I do. I really do. I miss him.
why did they released him? What
They
did they
had
do
to
with him?
DFA him because his numbers were dipping a little bit, and I think this was this after they got uh Mark Leiter. There was a numbers crunch at some point.
I think it was around the same time.
So Yankees legend, what up? Okay. So so back to this before we get into these little positional battles here, because there's really two that we have to talk about, and then we'll go over what the lineup could and should look like. Um, yeah, they DFA'd him on August 25th. So I don't. Somebody had was it for Scott Efros or somebody was coming back around that time? They had to make it.
Maybe.
They had to. How do you call it? They had to find a spot for somebody. They had like 9 injured relievers, and they were all coming back. And Tonkin hadn't been pitching. Oh, fuck you, Phil Bickford. That's
Phil-
right. That was
God.
Yankee legend. Why did you do that, bro? Why did you make me remember Phil Bickford? Oh, Jesus. Oh, we should mention that Paul Goldschmidt is also dealing with some back shit, and they're not concerned. He'll be in the lineup on opening day. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't believe that either.
Okay.
I want to know how Stanton got hurt. If you're not playing and you're like supposed to be taking it easy, how'd you acquire said calf injury?
I mean, he was probably jogging in the outfield.
Come on.
Bro, what do you want?
He needs to stand still and not move. He needs to just like vibrate, or he needs to be strapped to a dolly and someone needs to roll
So,
him around
so
wherever
in
he
in
goes.
in literally in a second and a half, in talking about John Carlos Stanton, you said vibrator and strap on. Something you want to tell us?
I can't. You'll yell at me and I'll get kicked off of YouTube.
You
Can't
probably
do that.
will.
I probably will.
You probably will. Okay.
I probably will. Vibrators and strap-ons.
You said it, not me.
Hey, listen. You got a dirty mind, sir.
Listen, bro, I only interpret the words that I hear. So, yeah, yeah, these two jerk offs aren't concerned. Okay, you know who is concerned? Me. Paul Goldschmidt might be new around here, but that's not how these injury things usually work. Usually it's, oh, yeah, he's okay. And then we don't see him for 3 months.
Rizzo has back spasms and you didn't see him for friggin' how long?
Yeah, Rizzo's back spasmed so much it turned his brains into scrambled eggs. Speaking of Yankee starters in Game 5 of the World Series, you know that Alex Verdugo found a home today.
Hey, you texted me before the Braves.
Yeah, the Braves signed him to a major league deal, and then they subsequently optioned him to AAA. I mean, honestly, you can make your jokes there. He was objectively the worst hitter in baseball for nearly 4 months last year. So maybe a couple weeks in Gwinnett isn't the worst thing for him, but he didn't have a spring training. I mean, so I get it.
He's got the dog in him.
So I guess that, we can finally stop hearing, oh, we should bring Verdugo back.
Hey, I For the record, you've been telling me that nobody wants Anthony Rizzo back, and I've been sending you nonstop shit that I keep finding,
I
proving to you
just,
that there
I
are
just,
morons saying it.
I don't understand how you could have sat there and watched that guy play baseball last year and then tell me that you want him back on this team. Like, I don't, that there's certain lines where I can't cross it mentally. Like, that's one of them. You're telling me that you want, if Paul Goldschmidt hits 250 with 15 home runs this year, he is 100% better than what Anthony Rizzo gave you last year. Like, that's the bar. Here's the bar. Don't be the worst first baseman in baseball. That's the bar. If you're the 29th ranked first baseman in baseball, you're better than what we had last year.
I concur. I I just want to say I proved it to you that people are asking for him back. It's a story though. He's a cancer survivor too, so I think people just like him. Do I want him back on the team? I do. As an ambassador, greeting people at the front door, I want him nowhere near first base.
There's a lot of
That's
nice
it.
people in the world. I don't want them all playing first base for the Yankees.
No, but talk
Now that you mentioned
I look
cancer,
at it.
unfortunately, I do have to bring this up because this is one of them. I don't mean to bring down the room, but everybody should know about this. Especially if you're remember the 2000, the mid 2000 White Sox that Bobby Jenks. Everybody remembers Bobby Jenks, the closer. He was the rookie. He was the rookie on that 2005 World Series team. He's had a rough go of it here. He lost his house in the California wildfires, and then came out today that he's dealing with end-stage stomach cancer, and he's doing one last autograph signing to help pay for medical expenses. So, I mean, it's just a truly heartbreaking story, and that we think that sometimes that these guys, especially when you see a guy like Bobby Jenks out there, I think some of these guys are superheroes, and they deal with a lot of the same type of things and unfortunate situations that we do. So I don't really know a positive way to spin that. Only that's just a terrible story that I think baseball fans should be aware of, and that there is if people do want to support him, that there is a link out there that you can purchase an autograph to help his family with the medical expenses. So yeah, that's that.
That sucks.
Yeah,
You
I
would
mean,
you, you would think that the Players Association would make sure that he has health insurance where he doesn't need to do stuff like that.
I don't know if he played long enough.
Uh,
You have to play a certain amount of years to be to
well,
accrue all that.
they're all gajillionaires. They should,
And
let's just
again, I
say
mean, how much money did this guy? This guy might not have made a lot of money too.
no, but not him. But you got everybody that he played with. I'm sure there's plenty of people.
I'm sure somebody could, but it just looks like he's in a very dire situation that he's doing this, that this is going to be his last autograph signing to pay for, let's be real here, end of life expenses.
That sucks.
So let's bring the show back up here to baseball here. Well, that and I mentioned this earlier. Um, a narrative going around in the past couple of days is that the Yankees are now, quote, being slept on, whereas they were being overrated coming into spring training, and now they're being underrated as all these injuries have accrued on this team. And I don't think the Yankees are being slept on. I really, truly don't believe that's the case, because we went over how poor this rotation looks, especially on paper right now. You went from Garrett Cole, Luis Heel, and Clark Schmidt being a part of your rotation to replacing them with Will Warren, Carlos Carrasco, and Marcus Stroman. So, no, I don't think the Yankees are being slept on. And I think fans that think that this is still a World Series caliber team, come down to earth with the rest of us here. I never said that the Yankees season is over. I never said that the Yankees can't make the playoffs this year. What I said is that I don't think that this team has what it takes as of March 20th to get back to the World Series. Their path is immeasurably harder than it was when this team reported to camp in February. That's the way I look at it. Not that the Yankees are done, that they have a tough road ahead of them right now. And where these innings are going to come from mainly, how are the Yankees going to bridge the gap to the back end of their bullpen? That there's a lot of innings that are going to need to be picked up by the middle part of this bullpen, especially with guys like Stroman, um, Carrasco and Warren taking 60% of the starts early on. It's going to be really tough for the Yankees to not have that bullpen gassed out. So no, I don't think the Yankees are being slept on. If you want to tell me this offense is being slept on, yeah, I'll agree with you there because I don't think this offense is getting enough credit for how good they can be because you have Aaron Judge and Cody Bellinger is going to bang this year. I'll put my
He's like the fifth or sixth best hitter in spring training this
He's
year.
hitting over 400 with a lot of power. I have high expectations for Cody. And then you really look at Volpe, Jazz, and Dominguez. How high up the 2020 ladder can these guys be? I'm a big Austin Wells guy, and it's just where do you fill it out? Is Goldschmidt going to be healthy and be able to give you 20 plus home runs? So yes, I think this offense can be a lot better. They're going to have to be. They're going to have to outscore a lot of teams. They're going to have to go in. You thought Rocky versus Drago was a Donnybrook slugfest bloodbath, right? Now think of that in terms of baseball about how the Yankees are just going to have to come out swinging and swinging and swinging and don't stop until they knock somebody out because that's how they're going to have to win a lot of games this year. But in terms of the Yankees being slept on, being disrespected, come on, guys. Nobody's going to be higher on this team or want to be higher on this team than I am. But this this starting rotation is a mess right now. And I can only be as optimistic as the facts allow me to be. And the facts are telling me that 60% of my rotation is on the injured list right now. And we got a middle of the bullpen that is going to have to get to work. And that Scranton shuttle is going to be, you're going to have to be gassing that thing up a lot in April. So, no, I've seen that in a lot of places, and I don't get it. I know people look for hot takes. That's it's not it's not really a hot take, man. It's just saying something to be contrarian to what the facts are presenting themselves to be right now. So
I think you're right. I think you're very right. I think the bullpen's not necessarily the greatest thing going. We're gonna have to deal with it. But if the offense just puts it together, that's the what if for the season. It's the offense, if they start clicking on all cylinders and they are gelling and they are playing, like that's gonna be the big thing too. Like, I say, like, the Avengers, and I'm worried about the Dodgers, whatever, but like that's a lot of big egos in one room. They might fall apart and they might start playing like shit halfway through the season, so it's all about chemistry. Hopefully these guys, they look like they're having a great time when you're watching them, and they could put something together and put a meaningful run in there, and we'll get some awesome baseball to watch. It's going to be different baseball than we've been really, looking for. Not home run or bust. Like I say, it's going to be small ball manufacturing runs. Like I'm really excited to have a full season of Jazz. Like that was fun to watch him towards the end of the season last year. You know, let's see what Dominguez puts together. He's supposed to be really great at run, getting around the bases. I think Cabrera is going to be the starting third baseman. Hopefully he could, I think he's been batting better than he was last year, obviously, and hopefully, Volpe, these guys start getting on base, and it changes the outlook of the game, and then it's exciting. We're not just sitting there looking at strike, foul, home run, or just strike out. I don't want to watch that type of baseball. That's boring baseball. We want to watch baseball. So hopefully that's what we get. And that's pretty much what the team is put together this year. I'm excited for Bellinger. He's been tearing it up. That's awesome to watch. So, obviously Goldschmidt goes down. Who's the first baseman? Is it going to be Dom
Well,
Smith, or is it going to be Ben Rice? You want it to be Ben
or
Rice?
Cody Bellinger.
Oh, Cody Bellinger.
Yeah, and then you can play Trent Grisham in the outfield. Or Ben.
Yay!
Hey, you want to look at Trent Grisham's numbers right now in spring training? Okay. To go look
No,
at him.
no,
No, they're
no.
I think
I
he's
saw him. Saw him during the season last year. It was ass.
yeah, well, they're not ass in spring.
Yeah,
They're the opposite of
and
ass.
yeah, and then when he goes and he plays, and I'm not very high on Trent Grisham. That's your
Okay.
fault, though. You tainted me on Trent Grisham.
How?
I never even got a chance to like the fucking guy. You're like, Trent Grisham.
What about him?
You just didn't like him. You're a
So,
fucking Trent Grisham hater.
I never hated Trent Grisham.
You hated Trent Grisham.
Maybe you asked me what he was, and I told you he was a piss poor hitting outfielder that plays great defense.
There you go. Piss poor hitter. And
And it,
I was
well,
tainted since then.
and how'd that turn out last year? The
I'm
guy's
very
got
impressionable.
he's got a little pop in his bat, so that's about it. He was a
You
doubles.
know,
He was a doubles machine. That's pretty much all he did. He hit doubles and played Gold Glove defense, but he hit like 194 in San Diego, and that pretty much carried over to the Yankees. Only the short porch got him a couple of dingers that he probably wouldn't have gotten in other places. But
a couple dingas.
let's get to this because you've been mentioning Oswaldo Cabrera a couple of times. So the real two things that I'm looking at right now are who's going to be the DH with staying on the injured list and who's going to play third base. So I know that the Yankees love Ben Rice. Joel Sherman has spoken on this several times in the offseason that the Yankees envision Ben Rice to be a future middle of the order hitter. They think he can be a fifth hitter. And he even said yesterday, I think it was yesterday, that Ben Rice, they didn't think the Yankees didn't think he could be a fifth hitter this soon, meaning this season. So do I see Ben Rice in the uh, opening day lineup batting fifth? No, probably not. Do I see Ben Rice being the opening day designated hitter? In my opinion, he should be. I said this a month ago that Ben Rice, I give the at bats to Ben Rice. I give the run to Ben Rice. It's his job, in my opinion. He's hit with a lot of power. He's been ripping the cover off the ball. I know people think that exit velocity is an overrated stat, but when this guy is smoking ropes 110 miles an hour off the bat all over the field, I don't think that's something that you ignore. I think that's a guy that is squaring the ball up and hitting with a lot of authority. And I think that's somebody that you want in your lineup right now because guess what? 110-mile-an-hour ground balls get through. 87-mile-an-hour ones maybe don't, So, that's a way to create more offense, a guy that's hitting the ball hard. Because, look, man, the simplest form of baseball has always been taught to you, hit the ball hard. You want to hit them where they're not standing. But if you can hit a 42-mile-an-hour duck snort that finds grass, or you can line 110 off the bat right to the third baseman for out number 3. What would you rather take? I get it, right? But that's baseball, Susan. You
Why don't
rather
you
have
say,
the,
Susan?
you'd rather have the guy hit the ball 110 miles an hour because your success will be there more often than not in the long run. So to see this guy with the power that he has been hitting the ball as hard as he has been, he's the DH to me. And I know Dom Smith has had a good season, good spring training himself as well. I don't know. Find a spot for him, man. You're going to need a backup first baseman if you don't want it to be Cody. You want, Cody break glass in case of emergency in a situation like that, or you don't want Ben Rice to be that because maybe you want Ben to focus more on being a catcher. Okay, I see. You can find a spot for Dom Smith if you really want him on the team. But to me, if it's cut day and I'm making the cut to release Dom Smith or send Ben Rice down to AAA, I know what I'm doing. And Dom, thanks for filling the hole for us in spring. Got a good look at you. Hopefully you'll catch on somewhere. But it's Ben Rice for me.
Nah, Ben Rice is playing like somebody who really wants to be here. I'm high on Ben Rice. I was high on him last year. He's an exciting person to watch. And again, that's what it all comes down to. Like for me, I like exciting baseball. I haven't gotten to watch a lot of him play. I haven't gotten to watch as much spring training this year as I normally would. Uh, but from what I've seen of him, it's it makes me hopeful. I want him at the DH spot. If Goldschmidt's hurt, I want to see him taking reps at first base. I I think the guy could fill in. Yeah, what they say. He thinks I was reading a lot of stuff where it says he thinks he's a major league hitter. He thinks he can play first base. He thinks he could be a major league catcher. The kid's confident. It's awesome. Um, he's always smiling too, which is great. I listened to an interview of him on the actual Yankees podcast. He just all around, he's a cool guy to listen to, you know. It's he says the right things, doesn't seem arrogant, but just from a winning aspect, I think he gives us the best chance.
Scott Wright in the chat. He says, I don't necessarily dislike Grisham. I'm just baffled why the Yankees love him so much. And I'm going to break this down for you here, Scott. I like you. You're in the chat every week. Thank you for joining us. Thank you to everybody for joining us in the chat tonight. Please hit the like button if you're in here and you haven't done so already. Here's the thing with Trent Grisham, right? Juan Soto was the pretty girl that you finally got to go out with you, and she had a little pocket dog, and that was Trent Grisham. Trent Grisham was the little pocket dog. Now this girl left you for somebody else, and all you're left with is the little pocket dog. And you don't want to get rid of the pocket dog. It keeps as a reminder that you had that girl at one point. So that's why they keep Trent Grisham around. You know, as a little reminder of what once was. And plus, you got to have something to show for giving up Drew Thorpe and fucking Michael King. So that's why Trent Grisham is here. Okay.
Did you just come up with that on the fly, or was that like planned?
No, I literally. What do you think this is? I got a
I don't
script. What
know.
do you think I got?
Have you said this is did you this
What
is
do
the
you?
first time you're
What do
saying
you think
that?
I got a script here? Come
What
on,
the hell
bro.
is that?
This was our over unders from last week.
A pocket dog. Every time Trent Grisham comes up to bat now, I'm gonna picture him as a Yorkie.
Sure, go ahead.
Fucking hate Yorkies.
Then don't get one.
I ain't gonna get one.
All right,
I
fine then.
I got the plug for French Bulldogs. My guy's trying to get them furry ones.
I almost got in your wife's car yesterday, by the way.
Oh, she told me.
I had the dog whip, man. I don't know how she was going to react to that.
I don't think she would have cared very much. She's so afraid of dogs.
No, but I don't know. You know how people are. She's very
Oh,
angry, bro. Can you talk to her?
that's the Italian in her. She's like super, super Italian. So she's always got like that resting bitch face going on.
You said that, not me. You said that.
Whatever.
So,
She looks like my mother-in-law.
generally, that's how that works. You know, mothers and their daughters, they tend to look alike.
Goodness, I'm dead. I'm dead.
Um, so you've been mentioning Oswaldo Cabrera at third base. I know that's got to hurt you. You know, at least I'm a cuck for a Cy Young winner, bro. Look, Oswald Cabrera. Jesus Christ, Oswald Peraza gonna be
I'm a
working at a Piggly Wiggly in a couple of months.
piggly wiggly. I don't know. That's gonna. I don't know. That's all. We'll see how that shakes out. I think it's gonna be Cabrera, but I mean, offensively, I think Cabrera's better than Peraza, but I think defensively, from what I've seen, Peraza's better than Cabrera. So it's all gonna come down to what they value more, you know, or Cabrera's bat stays the way it is. I just don't see. I see Peraza being someplace else though. I can't see him staying on the team.
Uncle Dom, Sem is already home. He's just in the basement. What's happening right now is that his wife is making sure that he cannot get out of that basement
I got a window.
to the wall.
Well, they don't listen, so she doesn't know what I'm saying. So the hell with her.
I didn't get a text yet, so normally when I reference it
Yeah,
on
that
here,
was a whole test thing. So now I get to go upstairs and be passive aggressive and be like, "You don't listen to me? You don't support me?"
so now we can say whatever we want because we know she's not listening. When she listens, she
Exactly.
texts me.
Think she'd make me some cinnamon rolls or something like that.
So
No.
did you ever see the Tim Allen show, Last Man Standing?
Yes.
All right,
Show's great.
it is. I agree with you there. Okay. Do you remember the episode where the two older daughters' husbands start a podcast and I forget what the podcast is about, but nobody listens to it. And then they start ripping their wives on it and it becomes wildly successful?
No, but I'm gonna have to watch that episode now.
I, f- I always felt like that maybe we should just stop talking baseball at some point on the show
And just
and turn this into a marriage counseling session. Air it out, everybody. Drop your super chats instead about who should play third base for the Yankees. What you hate about your wife?
Oh my God. I hate I hate that there are not cinnamon rolls in my oven right now. She really, I think I just heard her get home. I think she just got home because she was at the store picking something up for me. Oh
Real
boy.
nice. Your wife is out picking up groceries for you at 9 o'clock, and you're making fun of her. That's classy, bro.
Well, if
Seriously.
she knew where this wasn't groceries, it was medicine, and if she knew where it was from the beginning, she wouldn't have had to go
So
out.
this is her fault. You're
It is
blaming.
her fault.
Okay, okay, I got it. I
It's
got it.
her fault. It's her
Okay,
fault.
it's her fault.
No,
All
no
right.
tiramisu for her on opening day. I just
None.
I just added my opening day tickets to my Apple Wallet.
I'm happy for you. I'm
I'm
truly,
so
truly happy for you.
I'll wave to everybody while I'm there.
I do think the Yankees, let's bring this back here before she hears you. I do think the Yankees are probably leaning towards Oswaldo Cabrera at third base. It just I don't know, it's just a feeling that I get. I would honestly I don't think you're going to get a lot from either offensively. I would love to see Peraza get a shot just to know one way or another. This guy is not some nobody they picked up off the street. This was a highly touted prospect, man. This was a guy that if he would have had a good spring a couple of years ago, he was going to be the starting shortstop. We all
If he didn't
know.
get Yeah, or if he didn't get hurt last year, we've been the starting third baseman last year.
I mean, this is, I don't think he's missed his opportunity with the Yankees. I think I think this should be his opportunity with the Yankees right here. Do I honestly think that's what the Yankees are going to do? I'm going to say that I want the Yankees to go with Ben Rice. I think the Yankees are going to go with Ben Rice. I want the Yankees to go with Oswald Peraza. I think they're going to go with Oswaldo Cabrera. So I think that's where I differ from the Yankees at third base.
Yeah, because Cabrera's a fan favorite too, and I feel like they'll go that way. Because when he came up, it was like in like a really wild style. Like he was a prospect, but he wasn't like Peraza was one of the bigger names, and
But
then
he was
Cabrera
like
out of
he
nowhere.
was a top 20 guy, but he wasn't towards the top
Yeah,
end.
no, and then all of a sudden they brought him up, and then we were there for 9/11. I remember he made a phenomenal play because I was sitting like third row in 109 or something like that, and he friggin' picked the ball and he flicked the dirt up at me. It was that close, and he was making
We
great
were there at
plays.
night. It rained, right? It
Yeah,
was
and
a
it was
Sunday and it rained. I remember that.
yeah, and you had to leave early, so we only stayed till like the fifth inning. But that was a wild game. Glaber hit two home runs while we were there. That was a
I
fucking
left
wild
early,
game.
bro, because they delayed it for like three
Started, yeah, and
hours.
you had to go back and get the kid. So
My kid was born already?
yeah, I'm pretty sure, right?
Oh shit, she's gonna be 5, bro. So God only, yeah.
Yeah, I
Jesus.
think she's that, and then I mean, there's that I think there's a baseball card where he went up, he made that play against the WH or WB Mason
Yeah,
sign, wherever the hell it is.
because he came up when Judge was out. He was playing right field.
Yeah, so he came up, he did all that, and he became a fan favorite. And I remember me and you talking about it going into the next season because I think my wife asked us like, why aren't we out there buying Cabrera cards or whatever it was when we were and we were like, because he really doesn't have a place on the team, and here we are years later, he's still here. You know,
You
I think
know,
he just became a fan favorite.
Peraza he started a couple games in the 2022 playoff run. So the Yankees, I can't say the Yankees don't like him. I just don't know why they don't love him. I would honestly, man, if again, choices between Cabrera and Peraza, I want to give Peraza 100 at bats. I don't think that's a lot to ask for because I think we were all expecting this to be a dead spot in the lineup anyway. At the very least, we know this guy's going to play really good defense. So I
Yeah,
want
I mean,
can I see him get 100 at bats here? And then if we have to give the job to Cabrera, we can give the job to Cabrera. It's not that I think people misconstrue this all the time when I say I don't want Oswaldo Cabrera playing every day. It's because he's not an everyday player. Look at his numbers in 2022 or 20 it was 20 I'm
he's
sorry, 20
streaky. He's very streaky.
when he won, this is how bad the Yankees left field job was in 2023. When he won the job, he played terribly. What do you have, an OPS plus of 59 that year? I mean, let me look that up. I gotta look that up here.
Look it up. Look it up. Nah, well, Peraza too. I was reading because obviously I read a little bit more about him than the other players. So he hired a new hitting coach too. So he changed up his whole
And I
swing.
misspoke. He came up in 2022, Cabrera. I don't know why he was in right field that day. Maybe they were giving Judge a day off because Judge wasn't hurt at that point. Obviously, because Judge won the MVP that year, so he was in the lineup. Maybe it was a DH day for him.
Probably because that's where he was playing right field when we were at the 9/11 game.
2023, when he was the everyday left fielder, this guy batted 211 with an OPS of 574 and an OPS plus of 58. So if you need like basic math skills here, he was 42% worse than the average major league player because OPS plus league average is 100 and he was 58.
Yeah. And was it not last, was it last year he was sent up and maybe they were yo-yoing him or the year before?
And
He
then
was
last year
up,
it wasn't
down.
last year it wasn't much better. He had an OPS plus of 87. So I've seen what Oswaldo Cabrera is like when he plays every day, and I don't like. I said this all the time. I think every championship team needs an Oswaldo Cabrera. They need a guy that you can plug in for 2 weeks, can play multiple positions. I think the only thing this guy you wouldn't want him doing is playing center field and catching and pitching. Those three things. Other than that, I think you can plug him in pretty much anywhere, and the Yankees have pretty much plugged him in anywhere.
Yeah,
But for
no.
but for him to
Get
be the
rid of
I don't know, man. For him to be the everyday third baseman,
no,
I'd
he's
rather give Peraza 100 at bats at this point.
yeah, and like listen, I don't want Cabrera to go anywhere. I want Cabrera on the team. I want Lay Maytag, whatever you call him. I want him gone, and then you got Cabrera to be the utility player that could be all over the fucking diamond. You know, it's or that's that's the role I see him in. You bounce him around. It is what it is. Somebody needs a day off. He could fill in. But I mean, I know he's a switch hitter. Great, cool. I don't think he really does much better switch. It's not. It's nothing even like that. He's just. But it's people have an infatuation with him. He came up. He made big plays. So it turns into the Anthony Rizzo thing. Everybody wants him there. Oh, we want him. We want him. We want him. But realistically, I think that Peraza offers much more defensively, base running. I think Peraza is a lot faster. And that's it's gonna like you said, 100 at bats. It's gonna come down to whether he could, get some contact and do something. No
So,
more excuses for him.
all right. So DH, who do you want, and who do you think the Yankees are going to go with?
I want Ben Rice, and I think the Yankees are gonna go with. I want to say Ben Rice, but they'll do the opposite because it just seems that they always do the opposite. But I'm hoping Ben Rice. I don't know. I'm wishy-washy on what I think they're gonna do.
Well, I asked you for an answer, so you can't be wishy-washy.
They're gonna go with fucking Dom Smith.
And obviously, we know you want Peraza, and you think they're going to go with Cabrera.
Yes.
Okay. So now, as we close out the show here, this is a combination of what I would do plus what I think the Yankees are going to do. All right. So I got Wells leading off, and if you're still in the chat tonight, drop your lineup, drop your opening day lineup. I want to see what everybody's thinking here, and make it a combination that's going to be semi-realistic of what you think they'll do and what you want them to do. But this is pretty much. I think I got this nailed here. I got Wells leading off. I got Judge batting second. I got Bellinger third. Goldschmidt cleaning up. This is where it gets a little tricky for me now because of what Joel Sherman said, but I still think opening day it's Jazz. And then here's where it also gets a little tricky here. I can be convinced either way. Right now, I have Volpe 6 and Dominguez 7. You can convince me to swap them, but that's right now. I have Volpe over Dominguez, Rice 8, and Cabrera 9. I think that's what I think. I'm 85% positive that's going to be the opening day lineup. But like I said, you can convince me that it's going to be a swap of Dominguez and Volpe because I kind of like Volpe 7 for some reason. But I think that's what the Yankees are going to end up doing. I think they'll see like some sort of status thing to give it to Volpe because he's been here 3 years now and whatever. I don't know.
I I'm not even gonna add to that because I'm in the same exact boat as you. I'm thinking the same thing.
My only thing is that if they're really, let's say they really want to go, because I look, there's few people that know what they're talking about more in regards to the Yankees than Joel Sherman. I really do respect his opinion. I don't respect a lot of the media's opinion because I think they're all useless. But Joel Sherman's been around a long, long time, and I really do think he knows what he's talking about. Do the Yankees get nuts on opening day and go Rice in that 5 spot? I don't think out of the gate, I don't see it happening. Because then what? Because then now you're dropping Jazz to 7. Because you're not going to go lefty lefty. I don't think they want to drop Jazz to 7. Because then you're so let's say the top four is untouchable, right? We're agreeing to that. Wells, Judge, Bellinger, Goldschmidt.
Absolutely. I
So
think
if
it's
you go,
ironclad.
so if you go Rice, then you're going Volpe, Jazz 7. No, it's 5, 6, 7. Yeah, Jazz 7. I don't know, man. 5, 6, 7. And then you still, then you go Dominguez. I don't know, man. Dominguez, Cabrera. Dominguez is batting 8th. Cabrera's still 9. I don't think the Yankees get crazy like that.
You never know.
Not right away. I can't honestly. I can't see it happening. I can't. I know that Sherman brought it up. That's the only reason why I'm giving any credence to it. But I can't see that happening right now.
Well, you're also assuming that Paul Goldschmidt's starting first base on opening day. What if
Oh, they
he's
said there's
not?
nothing. They said there's nothing to worry about. Okay,
Yeah,
they
I
said there's
know.
nothing to worry about. I don't want to. Benji, why doesn't Volpe lead off? Have you seen? I'm not trying to. I'm going to come off like an asshole. I don't care. Have you seen Anthony Volpe bat lead off before? The Yankees never made him the leadoff hitter last year. He would have been, I don't want to say an all-star, but you could have looked at him and said, hmm,
So you're saying moving him to lead off completely killed his confidence or just put
I
him under
did
the
for
pressure?
whatever reason it derailed his entire season. It really did. He had a hot start to the season, and then Glaber, was struggling, and they made the move, and they just should have left Glaber. They should have just left things alone, man. They really should have. And I think that had a lot, honestly, for whatever reason. I don't know. I think that had a lot to do with Anthony Volpe having such a down year last year. They should, when things are working, just leave them alone. I know I said they did it to get Glaber going, but honestly, come on.
Well, we'll see this year.
Anthony Volpe's development was more important than getting Glaber Torres going. Can we agree on that?
Yes.
So,
Absolutely. I don't know. They always do fucking weird things, and then I get pissed off and I scream at my TV. So
old Sarge, Anthony Volpe's Italian, bro. He knows he can consistently hit a fork with a plate. Come on now. Let's not disrespect. Let's leave things on the field here and not get disrespect. A lot of people getting disrespectful here unnecessarily tonight. Okay. It's not, we don't have to do that. Benji, I'm seeing that I didn't see your name earlier, but yes, Cookie Carrasco is definitely making the team for sure. And we talked about Dom Smith. Yeah, I'm sure the Yankees could find a way to make it happen. Just saying, if there's one spot left and it's Rice or Dominic Smith, you got to stop calling both of them are referred to as Dom. So we just got to cut. I got to get that out of my head. And Dominic Smith is the other guy. He's got to go, man. I'm sorry.
he was awful that first inning the other day at that spring training game. I didn't watch any more of that, so I don't know how he played at first base, but it was not pretty.
I don't know. Jason Solo in the chat says Wells, Judge Bellinger, Goldie, Rice, Jazz, Jason, Volpe, Peraza. I, I again, I don't see the Yankees are not going to go lefty lefty. I don't see that happening. That's the only reason why I don't think they're going to go Rice five that early because I don't think they want to drop Jazz out of that mix there, and I don't think they're going to go lefty lefty. I just don't think that's something that they're going to do. But I've been wrong before, and I just don't see it because Boone's always talking about his lanes. You don't want to give an opposing manager a lane, and I mean, what are you? You're setting them up right there. You're going. You're going 3 out of 4 hitters lefty because Bellinger's going to bat third. It's going to be Bellinger, Goldsmith, Rice, and Jazz. You're not going to give an opposing manager that lane. The Yankees certainly aren't. They're fucking obsessed with these goddamn lanes. So
Lanes. It's all about the lanes.
I'll answer one more question from Benji. No, I do not see Spencer Jones making this. First of all, Spencer Jones should not be even a consideration for the Yankees in 2025 because if he is,
It's a problem. You don't want him to be a
there is a
consideration.
major problem somewhere. A
You don't
major problem somewhere.
you don't want to hear his name for the rest of the season.
All I want to do is hear about Spencer Jones, is hear about how he's raking in Scranton and how he's going to make the Yankees' decision really hard in the offseason and what they should do with Cody Bellinger. That's all I want to hear about Spencer Jones this year. Because if we're
Yeah.
hearing about him getting called up,
That means something probably happened to Judge.
something or Dominguez or Bellinger.
But yeah,
I mean, your outfield looks to be set. I mean, that's you're looking at places of where you don't want things to happen of where the strongest part of your team is right now. I got to say that's with the back end of the bullpen, the Yankees outfield is probably the second strongest part of the team. The only reason I don't put it number one is because we still have a huge question as to what Dominguez really is at the major league level. But we don't want to be talking about adding outfielders later on in the season. It's just not going to be a good thing for this team.
well,
But do you have
uh,
anything you want to say here? Yeah, I mean, I'll
I'm
give
just
you a
deep
minute.
pondering. We got a week to go, less than a week to go. I hope everybody's as excited as I am.
Look, man, like I said earlier in the show, opening day is still special. It's still something that you should get excited for. The injuries have sucked this off season, and I know that I went from saying this was a lock World Series team. It's just whether or not they can beat the Dodgers to now feeling that this is a second or third wild card team based on the injuries, but I'm still excited. I took off for I make sure I'm home on opening day. I don't want anything to interfere with me sitting down and watching the first pitch of the Yankee season. It's a holiday in my house, and it's always going to be that way. I don't care if the Yankees were projected to win 43 games this season. I'm still going to be excited for opening day. And the day that I'm not excited for opening day is the day I no longer want to live. I mean, I'm just going to put it to you bluntly like that. It's the start of a new baseball season. It's why you are all listening to us right now. It's why we do this. It's what we love, and I'm going to be excited for opening day no matter what happens. So I'm looking forward to it. Jason's going to be out there, so if you're going to be at Yankee Stadium on opening day, it's hard to miss him. So
Yeah,
say
you'll
hello.
find me.
And
I don't know. I can't fucking wait, man. I'm already thinking about it. The smell of sausage and peppers and shit like that. It's just like I love this the smell of the stadium when you walk through that gate and you get out into the freaking the concourse. Ah,
nothing beats the smell of old Yankee Stadium, hot dog water and piss. Nothing beats that smell. When you
we
walked
went
into
to
the,
one of the last games there, right? Didn't we? And I
I
completely
was at Yankee Stadium so much in 2008. I don't remember.
I think we went to one of the very last games and I did not dress appropriately and I froze my ass off.
So I have no idea. I went to my last game at the old Yankee Stadium was with my now wife. So you had to have gone before then. So
Oh yeah, but I think it was probably like there was only a couple like weeks left to the state to the season. It was freezing out. It was cold.
I do miss I miss old Yankee Stadium for a lot of reasons, and one of them was the the aroma of piss and hot dog water when you walked in there. You knew you were at the Cathedral of Baseball, and there was no better place when you smelt that combination. on their own, piss and hot dog water. It's not a good. Nobody wants to smell those two things. Put them together when you walk in through a tunnel to see the green grass of Yankee Stadium. It's magical.
Magical.
And what would be magical is if you're still in the chat tonight, we want you to subscribe to NYY Underground and like this video. And excuse me, if you're listening to us on your favorite podcast platform on Friday, please leave us a 5-star rating and review there as well. And tell everybody NYYST is the official Yankee podcast of Odyssey. And yes, before we close out, Benji, thank you for the kind words. And yes, I can't believe we forgot that Joey Gallo got cut from the fucking Chicago White Sox. And now he's going to try to make it as a pitcher. So best of luck to Joey Gallo in his future endeavors. Look, Joey Gallo threw gas as a high schooler, so he used to be able to pitch, but best of luck, Joey. I'm just best of luck, my friend. So the next time you hear my voice, the New York Yankees will have played baseball, meaningful baseball. Well, no, you're going to hear my voice before then, but on this podcast, the next episode of the NYYST podcast, the New York Yankees will have played meaningful baseball. So everybody get excited. Opening day is exactly 7 days away. And if you're in the chat tonight, I'd love to see. Don't be shy. If you see me out at the Audi, you see us out at the Audi Club on March 29th, say hello, take a picture. I will only charge you $25 for an autograph, okay? As my fans, I will do that for you. You get the fan discount. All right. So thank you very much for joining us tonight. We want to thank everybody for their continued support of NYYU and NYYST. We want to thank everybody for listening and watching episode 452. Sem, say goodbye.
Bye.
We got it next. That's how you finesse. We come for they next. We come to collect. Did it all on my own, yeah. When it brought it back home, yeah. Now they calling my phone, yeah. But I'm all in my zone. They not a threat. Tell them reset. When they're at their best, we still not impressed. Did it all on my own, yeah. When it brought it back home, yeah. Bought a watch with the stones, yeah. Caught them watching my throne, yeah. Ain't no one doing the shit that we doing. Ain't nobody moving the way that we move.